Legendary Beast Studios gave us a bit of a surprise for this 1/3 scale Superman statue. One down, baby. We gotta complete the Justice League. Welcome everyone from What's on the Table. This is Prof G and you are watching another episode of Graded, the show where we're not just going to unbox or review a particular statue, collectible, or figure. We are actually going to give it a grade at the end of each video. So for this episode, we are gonna grade the 1/3 scale Legendary Beast Studio statue, Superman. Now, before we begin, I wanna share this photo right here. This is what started it all for me. This is what made me commit to the 1/3 scale DC line of Legendary Beast Studios. Seeing all these characters from the Justice League all line up like that just made me imagine what it would look like on my non-existent display shelf. And basing it from the announcements made by LBS, they're not really showing signs of slowing down in populating and beefing up their DC line. So I know eventually, with a little bit of patience, which most of us collectors don't really have, we will be able to complete this line. And it starts with Superman. Priced at around 88,000 pesos, which is around $1,550 with its scale and what we got. I really think this is a win for us collectors. As you can see right in front of you, we have the box of the 1/3 scale Legendary Beast Superman statue. Very simple, showing the classic name logo of Superman, the LBS logo, and the S logo of Superman at the back. Once you open it up, you will be greeted with 2 layers of Styro, and just a fair warning, it has a bit of weight to it, especially Styro level number 2, containing the body of Superman. Alright, so Styro level number 1, you have this beautiful looking base of Superman with the logo of Daily Planet on top. I have a lot to say about that base later on, but that's looking good, and we already know that it's going to be a storytelling base. You have 2 chest logos of Superman, 2 sizes actually for you to choose from. One is the bigger version and one is the smaller version. This layer also contains 6 Superman portraits. You have the bearded, scruffy-looking Superman. You have the long-haired Superman. You know the look that he had after recovering from the dying hands of Doomsday. Now, this one is actually a surprise, as I didn't expect LBS was gonna give us this portrait, as it wasn't in their package inclusions in their website. I'm gonna talk about this more in a bit, but it was definitely a nice surprise. This one looks like a modern-day Christopher Reeves head sculpt, but I think it's the Gary Frank Superman look. I like it, I like it. This one is, yes, the infamous Alex Ross Superman portrait. I think this is the looking forward version. And the last head sculpt from Styro level number 1 is the Superman with light-up eyes. Now, I must have missed the memo, but I didn't know that there was going to be a light-up feature for this head sculpt. I didn't even know that they were gonna give us another version of this portrait without the laser eyes. And this one is actually part of the pre-order bonus. So that's already a total of 6. Moving on to Styro level number 2, only 3 pieces here. You have the good-looking sculpted cape of Superman with his logo printed at the back. You have the body of Superman, which is surprisingly kind of heavy. But looking at it now, the paint job and the texture looks amazing. I borderline thought it was mixed media because of the texture. And you also have portrait number 7, which is the Alex Ross portrait looking up. That's 7. I thought we were only gonna get 5 and 6 if we got the pre-order bonus, but we got a total of 7. I'm not sure if this was planned, but if this was a planned surprise, thanks. I ain't complaining. 7 head sculpts, 2 chest emblems, 3 big and heavy pieces. It's time to assemble this 1/3 scale Legendary Beast Studios Superman. My collector friends, this is the 1/3 scale Legendary Beast Studio statue, Superman. Now, before we begin talking about the statue in detail, LBS gave us 3 options to choose from. They have the black suit Superman, the light blue Superman, and the dark blue Superman, which is the one I have right now. Now, of course, it can be argued that the different head sculpts that I showed you a while ago has its preferred colored suit, but I think having the dark blue one is just like the safe bet if we're going to display this alongside the other members of Justice League. I mean, the black suit is tempting, but if you want to have the iconic DC Justice League assembled this way, blue is the way to go. Just a quick measurement for this 1/3 scale Superman by LBS. It stands 34 inches tall, right at the top of his head, about 21 to 22 inches wide from the cape to the end of the base, and the whole statue weighs at around 17.3 kilograms. You are gonna need that information if you're gonna prepare yourselves for a shelf space for the Justice League, as the dimensions, especially the height, would probably be consistent with the other characters. Now, going back to the statue, my first impression when I opened this is the very first thing that I noticed is the paint job of all the pieces. Yes, that is the first thing that I checked, and the verdict is, well, we're gonna get to that in a bit. But first, the base. I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. LBS does a great job in creating statue bases that tells a story. At the very front, you have this eagle with its wings spread and the stars surrounding the base. And at the bottom, there is an engraved text that says truth, justice, and a better tomorrow. So you know Clark Kent being from Kansas and he has that patriotic trait. That eagle at the middle kind of looks good and makes sense. Move the base around, you are going to see on one side the Super Family. I'm not sure if we can call it that. The logo crest of Superman, S stands for hope, and the parents of Kal-El from Krypton, as well as the parents of Clark Kent here on Earth. Then as you look at it from the top, you are gonna see the logo of the Daily Planet where Clark Kent works in the city of Metropolis. So if you bring all of these stories, you're already right away going to have an idea of who Superman is. But other than the storytelling aspect of the base, what I really love about this, other than the fantastic sculpt work that they did, is the paint job. I love how they did the whole aged bronze look on this one. Fantastic looking paint job, and for some reason, I'm not sure if the video is gonna give you an idea on what I'm trying to say, but the color tones, the blends, the shading, the texture, and the glossy bronze look really amplifies the sculpt work that they did. So for this base, I am going to give it a freaking massive thumbs up. Second, the body. Now this is something I really love about this piece. Let's start with the texture. Remember a while ago I said that I thought that it kind of looks like mixed media because of the texture? It kind of fooled me. The dotted texture combined with the creases and the mild shadings that accentuates the contours of the body. I hate saying the word perfect because there's no such thing. But I'm gonna say it. It looks damn good. It looks perfect. If I'm gonna compare it with other statues, usually they just go for either a smooth but flat texture and paint job, and that in itself already looks good. But this one, with the texture that they added, looks even better. With how the veins and muscles are showing, you already know it's not a padded Superman suit. It's really the classic comic book suit for Superman where the word fancy is thrown out of the window and we were given the accurate classic look. And I will say this again, the paint job is perfect. No spills, no overlapping lines, no fading, no unwanted marks, no stains, nothing. Absolutely perfect paint job, thank goodness. Combine a good paint job with a very detailed texture suit and the iconic pose of Superman, you can't go wrong. With that commanding pose, it's kinda hard not to put Superman at the middle of the Justice League line. I like that they also gave us options on how we want the Superman chest logo to be used. They gave us 2 options, a big and a small one. But for now, I am kind of vibing with the smaller option of the Superman logo, so I'm gonna use that. Now let's talk about the cape for a second. Sculpted cape is really the way to go, and this is a good looking sculpt for a cape. You know why I appreciate it? It looks natural, it's not exaggerated, it's not busy, it's realistic. I mean, I have nothing against other cape sculpts where they put in a lot of effort on how the wind blows the cape, but this one, simple is better. Plus, I love that they included the Superman logo at the back of the cape. I am glad that we are bringing that back. I also appreciate that they made the cape lighter. Now, I don't know what material they use on this one, but it feels light, but sturdy. Last but not the least, let's move on to the generous head sculpt that LBS gave us. Like I said a while ago, I was only expecting 6 head sculpts since I got the pre-order bonus. But for some reason, they gave us an extra. You have head sculpt 1. I'm showing this to you first as I love the pre-order bonus inclusion. It's the laser eyes with light up feature. The unannounced free head sculpt of the same portrait but no laser eyes light up feature. The Alex Ross looking up head sculpt, which in my opinion the best suited for the dark blue Superman suit. Another Alex Ross head sculpt where it's looking forward. The scruffy looking bearded Superman, I like that. Superman with a mullet, which reminds me of the Dan Jurgens Superman. And then this head sculpt right here kind of looks like a modern day Christopher Reeves, reminding me of the Gary Frank Superman. Now you can't go wrong with any of these head sculpts, and I actually found myself a bit conflicted with which one would be my preferred look. For the first 5 minutes of doing this assembly, I preferred the head sculpt with laser eyes, light up feature. Then I saw the one with the mullet. Then I saw the bearded one. Then when I placed the Alex Ross and looked at it from afar, I think the body sculpt and the pose with the dark blue suit color really suits the Alex Ross version. So for now, I am sticking to the Alex Ross head sculpt looking forward. Some people don't really like a lot of switch outs, but for me, I don't know. I kinda like it. Based on my behavior, if there are alternate head sculpts available, I always switch it from time to time just to give it a fresh look. But that's just me. Looking good. Having said that, for this Legendary Beast Studios 1/3 scale Superman with the design and the concept, the pose, I mean that's an iconic looking Superman pose right there. That's his calling card. The build, the fantastic paint job, and the price that I got it for, which in my opinion is really generous, I am going to give it a grade of 8.8. This is a good start to kick off the DC Justice League line of Legendary Beast Studios. And this 1/3 scale Superman did not disappoint. Knowing that there is continuity and knowing that the upcoming Justice League characters will also be comic book inspired with a taste of the classics, dude, I can't wait for Batman and Wonder Woman to arrive as well. Now usually in these videos I do a size comparison, but since these are exciting times, especially for me as a DC collector, no size comparison. But I will compare it to 2 other 1/3 scale pieces. That's right, the LBS Batman and the LBS Wonder Woman. Stay tuned for the upcoming first look video of these 2 prototypes by LBS. Thanks guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do me a solid and click on the like and subscribe button or give me a shout at the comment section below. If you have a different grade you would want to give this 1/3 scale Legendary Beast Studio statue Superman, please let me know also in the comment section below. Thanks again everyone, this is Prof G and you just watched another episode of Graded. See you all on the next one.